Hey everyone, in this video we're going to be talking about doing a tier list for the summer 2026 RTA season. I've been playing a lot of games this season, so I think I have an okay grip on the meta. And I've been floating around the bottom of Legend, so hopefully this gives folks some decent insight on some of the units, especially as we have a lot of selectors being given out. So just going through the list, I'm going to try to skip around units that aren't picked um, just to save some time. So starting with Ahmed, um, I think she's definitely still good in that 4 or 5 situation when you're playing aggro. Um, you can pair with things like Freerin and you can cleave a lot of games. Um, Hard to pick sometimes, especially if Harseti's up, but definitely still viable. Abyssal Yufine, I think she's kind of niche these days. She's not a unit you pick unless you specifically need to deny a CR. Aki, I think he's also niche. You probably only use him into things like Freerin if you're able to get him a turn. Um, Aram, Aram is, I think she's also considered niche. Probably primarily used for City games, but some people are using her in aggro comps. Um, but I don't see her in most games, so I'd say she's niche. Arby, this unit's really strong this season. I definitely think he's S tier, especially if you have Summer Photogenic. He makes a lot of games really awkward to play. Um, so he's good in aggro, but he's also good for anti aggro. So definitely think he's S tier worthy. Um, Skipping these are not really relevant these days. Ludwig, I think he's actually quite good. Um, he counters, evasion units, things like buffers. Obviously, you use him in an aggressive situation, but you can also play him as solo carry if you have a, draft around him. You can pair him with things like Yolha. Um, Obviously, he's countered by a few things, particularly Bellion to some degree, but also um, even things like LCB are quite strong into him. But if you draft him properly, he's really strong. Um, let's see, going down Bellion. I mean, Bellion's still good. Um, Denies Souls can be paired with things like Yolha. So I definitely think she's still quite good. Um, Barunka, I think Barunka's still good. Um, Maybe a little bit less due to the new summer Fumir, but she's still very strong. I see her picked a lot as first pick these days still. Uh, Briar, I mean, Briar is always good. Um, you can pair her with things like Scales for aggro, or um, even I think some people have like DPS builds on her, like full attack with Drink to beat up some of the evasion units in the meta. Summer Hua, or sorry, not Summer Hua, ML Hua. I think she's okay. She's not great. I think most people have moved her onto a Destro build these days and off of counter. Um, you can use this into things like Nodos, particularly, because a lot of people play like protected Nodos like drafts. So if you build her like, 4.5k, 350, or higher, she's going to be able to one shot even through things like Christie. Um, Going down here, I don't really see many of these units these days. DDR, I think he's I think he's considered niche these days. I think most people are just using him on the Aram Artie, Queen's Whistle, when you're playing Zio. This way he can cut a turn after Zio and just give you tempo to close out a game. Arya, I actually think she's somewhere in between S and A. I'll put her in S just because I like Arya. She's really powerful this season. Obviously, there's resistance meta, there's warrior meta. Both of these benefit her greatly. And if she's paired with something like a Yolha, a Biblis, her HP is going to be really high. And she's going to be able to one shot a lot of things, especially with like the blue crap. Sorry, no, the red kraut artifact, which gives her souls to soul burn on turn one. Looking down here, Dragon King Sharoon. I think she's niche. I think she's really only used with Renok these days for super aggro comps. Elena, also niche, kind of anti-cleave. Um, you can use her with the new Ivana arty, and you can surprise a lot of people by cutting if they opt to, not press their S3 or something with like a Briar AoE opener. So she's still usable, but definitely niche. Elvira, also niche. There are some games against like LCB, etc., where you might pick her in a draft and just hope she gets banned. Also against like MLT. Ilyanov, it's niche. I don't think she's used that much anymore somehow. She's kind of phased out of the meta. Estelle, I think she's S tier. She's really powerful. Insane mid. She has counters, so she actually does a lot of damage. She has injury. She has self CR push. She has AoE barrier. She's kind of an insane unit. She's also one of the few units that's also good into Nodos. So yeah, she kind of serves dual purpose. She protects the team, but also can do a lot of damage and close out games, especially against aggro. I have the Abyss Fumir. I think she's A tier. She seems decent, but there's a lot of games where she feels like she's not really contributing much. I think a lot of people have pivoted to picking Christie against her. Christie kind of lets you trade 1v1 with her, if that makes sense, because Christie, you don't really care if she's on the battlefield. She's going to give her backline the ER. And you can argue Fumir doesn't do anything outside of just keeping that front line out of the game. So I think she's good, but I don't think she's like S tier worthy. Furin, I think she's still A tier now. I think there's a few things in the meta that makes it hard for her to play. Um, I'll give you an example. Biblis. If Biblis is in the game on the enemy team, you cannot pick Furin. She's still good. Don't get me wrong, but I think she's not as safe of a pick as she used to be. Genesis Ross, he's kind of fallen off. I'll just put him in B. I don't think he's used that much anymore. Hakate, um, I mean, depending on how you draft her, I think she's actually viable, especially because they gave her an EE. There's a lot of games against Revivers, Ruel, where she becomes a banned unit. Um, and if she makes it through, you're probably going to win the game when you're picking her. Harsetti, I mean, Harsetti is still good. Um, she can clinch a lot of games for you, but I personally don't like the unit. It just turns a lot of games to RNG. Ivana, I think she's niche. She's good, but you're not picking her every game. Her niche is against particularly Deanne, and some people are using her versus Zio on her own already to take turns. Let's see, who else do we have here? Lady of the Scales, I think she's still good. I know she's a little bit more countered now with things like RNL in the game. Um, but depending on the draft, if you're playing aggro, she's still incredibly hard to deal with. Litica, I'll put her because she was in the season for a little bit, but I think she's kind of fallen off a bit. I don't really see her anymore. He's replaced by RNL essentially. LHC, she's usable in certain games, Setsuka, etc. Um, so I'll give her B. LCB, I think LCB's okay. She's one of the few units okay in Harsetti. She's good anti-aggro. I think we do see her a lot actually this season, so I'll put her in A for now. Maid, I think she's niche. Fixed damage, um, ER. There are some people picking her, so I'll put her in the list, but definitely not frequently these days. Monarch of the Sword. I think she's okay. I mean, people are just using her as anti-aggro. You can also use her against things like Bellion, but um, I wouldn't say she's as powerful as she was last season. Mort, he's niche. He's actually quite good into Estelle, um, but you have to draft the right way to get the most out of him. Luna, I mean, Luna's Luna. She's always going to be decent if you draft her in the right spot. Usually a must ban on 4 or 5 if drafted properly. Nodos, let's be real. This unit is really broken, especially in RTA. He's very hard to deal with, so definitely S tier worthy. If he gets his S3 off, he's basically going to win you the game, which is kind of crazy, but that kind of explains why he's banned a lot. Biblis, I think she's S tier. This unit changes how the game is fundamentally played. It cancels out a lot of DPS options. She's got AoE injury, provoke. She's got a heal. She makes the game really awkward to play, so I think she's S tier. Fire Captain Flan, I think she's good. You can play her in a lot of different drafts. Uh, pair it with Zio, etc. She can win a lot of games for you. Arnell, this unit's really good. Um, fast opener, does a ton of damage. AoE, fear. She's kind of got everything, and she's got 100 evasion when you use the Violet Talisman. So definitely S tier worthy. Renok, I feel like Renok is still pretty strong. Bit ballsy to race things like Arnell, but she's still a very strong unit. Ruel, unfortunately, Ruel is also extremely powerful this season still. I was hoping they'd nerf her, but this unit just gives you so much potential to come back. Um, and also, when paired with things like this guy right here, Salome, the games just drag on. You can wipe out enemy turns just by surviving, right? And that brings me to Salome. This unit's also really powerful. I mean, she's got fixed damage, she's got an ignore, ER, death break, collapse. But obviously, the copy is the biggest part of her kit. You compare with things like Yohav, Ruel. You could even copy a DPS, right? So she's very versatile. She also has, Sweet Miracle available there as an artifact. So you can't really contain her. She's gonna press her S2 regardless, which makes her really powerful. Yoha, yeah, this unit's still powerful. I mean, Superhuman's a crazy buff. Um, just by virtue of taking a turn, she can win a lot of games. And, there's a lot of artifacts for her Glorious Flag, Sword Storm, uh, POV, Warhorn. She's got a lot of ways to survive and take turns. So, she's definitely S tier, especially because Salome exists. Double Superhuman is like crazy OP. Sea Poly, she's okay. Maybe more niche these days. She's just not fast enough to compete with the new openers like Arno. Setsuka, I think she's like A to S. I'll put her in S. She's broken. Drafted in certain games, she will win you the game with a 30% win chance, which is like insane. Deanne, I think Deanne's still good. Not as good as she was last season now that Ivana exists, but definitely pickable on the 4 or 5 slot. Celine, also really powerful still. A lot of people play Protect the Celine comps, and it's one of the few units that you can play into things like Free Run and actually come back in a game. Strays, he's okay. Maybe put him niche these days. He's hard to use. When picked properly, he's probably a 4 or 5 must ban. Teiyu, yeah, he's alright. I mean, you pair him with Zio, that's it. But if he gets that combo off, he can win you a game. Charlotte, same kind of thing. I think she's really just a Zio partner. I've seen full damage Harsetti combos too, but that's a little more ballsy. Sigrid, I think Sigrid's still good. I wouldn't put her in S tier, but I think she's A. Um, the problem with her right now is if someone has an aggro opener, uh, she kind of loses value if she doesn't get a turn. And things like Salome can outspeed her, and you do not want your team feared by Salome. So yeah, I'll put her in A tier. She's definitely still good. Tori, I think Tori's okay. Some games where she's really good. Kayron, kind of niche. Use her against Tori, Freer, and that kind of thing. Vildred, I mean, he's an imprint, right? He's still viable just for that. Tenny, I'll put Tenny in B now, actually. I think she's kind of fallen off a bit. It's too unreliable to use her a lot of games. And things like the resist frenzy exist, so harder to use these days effectively. Senya, niche. You're going to use her against AoEs, particularly Harsetti, or like some people are still doing like opener Bryce area, that kind of thing. Zio, I mean, I think he's still S tier, uh, just by virtue of he gets you the first turn, right? Let's see, is there anyone else on this list? These all look like. Okay. Acades, she's usable some games. Things like against Zio can be okay. Bunny Dom, I think she's okay. Um, a lot of people are using her at 200 ER on Ivana already to play into RNL. Can win you a lot of games by using that. Let's see. Sherry, I mean, I'll put him in niche. He's an imprint. Surin, imprint. Veronica, imprint. Anti-immortality. Watchers, an imprint. So is this one. Silk is also an imprint. Let's just do one more quick check here. Anyone else we're missing? Plan? She's okay in Hard City games. I'll put her in B. Um, let's see. I mean, I guess C Pavel. I would put him in niche. He's okay. Probably banned most games you're going to be picking him. I think that's kind of the majority of the units that are relevant this meta. Um, I actually think this current meta is kind of a mixture of RGB and ML5. Um, yeah, I think Nodos RV are kind of like well, that and RNL are kind of like the big three of this meta right now, with Biblis coming up right after that. I think a lot of folks are uh, banning Nodos these days, banning things like scales, um, or even banning Perfumer Biblis, because these three kind of they fundamentally change the game. Um, when they're in the game, you have to play and draft a certain style. It just makes it harder. So I think those are kind of what most folks are pre-banning this season. But yeah, that's it for this video. I just want to do a quick tier list as we approach the end of the summer 2026 RTA season. So hopefully you guys can take a look at this. Hopefully select some good ML5s out of some of the selectors from the event, and also some of the relevant RGBs. So good luck on this season, and I'll see you in the next video.